The other thing is I'm a business analyst. I'm not a public speaker, so I'm gonna have to refer to notes here a bit as we go. All right. So excuse me if I'm looking down. That's what I'm doing there. Okay. So as Im said, I'm Chris Daffin. I'm a business analyst in the solutions design team. I joined Schroders about 6 months ago, and I'm working on a sustainability program doing wealth data integration with Tim Barnes and Co. I was talking to Tim and Ema recently about these surgeries, and we came up with an idea for something a little bit different, but it's based on an idea that I've been playing around with for a few years now. So yeah, we've covered in the intro, as well as being a business analyst, I do a lot of carpentry. So it's partly DIY, but also making things as a hobby. It's a real mix. And it's occurred to me lots over the years that there are a lot of similarities between doing the kind of IT project that we do and the woodwork project. On the last BA surgery, for example, it was broken down to a number of sections around design principles, scalability, those kinds of things. And all of that kind of comes into play in what I do here as well. Before I get to that, now I'm going to, hopefully this will work okay. I thought I would show you just a few of the things that, the kind of projects that I make. All right, so let's just check this works okay. And coming through.
Yeah, we can see that now.
What you got?
There we go.
How about that? Got that? Are you seeing wooden maps?
We are seeing the first page of a slide called Carpentry and Business Analysis.
Does it say wooden? Does it have pictures of wooden maps on it?
No.
No, but let me navigate it forward. Yes, we've got it now. I've just navigated it forward.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So one of the things, it's the thing that Tim and I have, I've sort of shown Tim before. So one of the things I like making is wooden maps. I've been doing this for quite a lot of years now, actually. And in recent times, I've started putting them into epoxy resin. So they never come across well on photos on screen, but I think you can probably get the idea there. So it's kind of 6mm plywood in resin. I used to make, and again, just to check, has that moved to the next picture?
Not yet, no, but I can do it for you. I can move it forward.
I'm not sure if you're moving it forward for everyone, Tim.
Oh, really?
But
oh, okay.
Anybody else wants to look?
Slide
I think you can update them yourself on the bottom. Yep.
Yep, you're on slide 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's when I make the wooden maps on a larger scale as wall art. Can next slide, please?
Yep, we've got that. So
got
we can
that.
see
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So this is some of the bigger projects. So on the left-hand side, I'm working on making a dwarf wall greenhouse, and on the right-hand side, that's a climbing frame I made for the kids. Next one. You should be seeing, so this is in an outdoor area. So we made the pallet furniture and the sink unit on the right.
Yep, got them.
Thank you. And then that there on the left is so I'm in the garage now. That's my work shed. That's further down the garden. And on the right-hand side, you can see the workbenches I've made in the work shed. So there's a sliding mitre saw table there. In the middle there's a homemade table saw, which is not safe. So I don't think anyone should be using that. So starting with an example of the parallels I'm talking about, Tim, can you go to the next one, please? Which should be a thing that probably no one's going to recognise. I'll refer back to being a BA and what a BA does. So what a BA should do is take some requirements or a problem, analyse it and propose a solution. A BA shouldn't just take a solution and document it. You should be looking at something and saying, I'm going to use my experience to come up with a way to meet this requirement. So I'll give you an example of this here in carpentry terms. Someone came to me and she explained the problem that she has and asked if I could come up with something to solve it. She didn't say, I want you to build me a wooden thing with 5 bars across each end. So I had a look at it. I came up with some prototypes and made this. She's really happy with it, and apparently it's working really well in UAT. As an aside, As an aside, if anyone can guess what that is, then there'll be a prize for the first correct answer. So I'll say breakfast at Bruno's on me, all right? If anyone can guess that, I'm guessing I'm pretty safe. So I'm going to go through some of the other parallels under a number of headings, starting off with preparation. Next slide, please, if you would. So hang on, just going to grab some water. Preparation really is key to everything. So I always tell my kids this: you put some decent work into the preparation part and you set yourself up to succeed. You don't go into a meeting and say, right, what we're going to do then. You do some prep. So the first woodwork example I've got here is my workbench. I had to take a picture of it when it was clear. It's covered in tools now. If I'm starting a new project and I've still got the remnants of the previous one, it's always going to make it harder for me. So it's the same with an IT project. You try and start your project when you're still finishing up the last one, you're setting yourself up to have problems. So I always try and clear my workbench first if I can. So hang on, it'll go back to, how do I now go back to camera and me? Oh, I don't want to leave the call, do I? I need to stop sharing.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sharing.
You're good.
Yeah, we're back to me.
Back to you.
Okay. All right. So the next thing under live in the studio, yeah. So the next thing around this and that the next parallel under preparation is resources. So I say that and I've moved them. I'm
a little disappointed that you haven't drawn an outline around each tool on the wall, but other than that, it looks great.
Yeah, that one has. That one's fair enough. But I do know where everything is. Absolutely.
True.
So preparation, right, is preparing your resources. So I'm not going to start a project if I don't have my box of screws, my sandpaper, which we will come to, or the oil I'm going to use to finish the project, for example. All right. So, and I want to have all these at the start. I don't want to be kind of getting those as I go along. So my assistant just knocked something over. I don't want to be getting those as I go along, right? I want to have those at the start. And it's the same at work, right? You want to have the people, your resources ready. You want to have your people ready, your applications, your environments. It's very similar. The next part is design. Pretty simple as well. So if I can't draw the thing I'm about to start on, then I'm not ready to begin. And it's the same at work. Schroders loves a Visio. And if we can't do an AR0 of what we're about to do when we're about to begin, then we really shouldn't go ahead with it at that point. So you make sure you have a good design and a plan, which leads me to the next one, which is planning. Planning is key, okay? It doesn't have to be complicated. And to be honest, from what I've seen, it's mostly just colouring in boxes, but you have to have a plan to succeed. A good project manager, and I'm sure that, for example, a lot of you here will probably know Mr. Chris Phillips. It will not let you cut corners or miss steps. So I'll go through a work example and then go through a woodwork one. Right, I'm going to try and present. No, hang on. I might be able to. No, I might be good. Right, can you see my bench?
We can.
Yes.
Right, the question is, can I move it on? Yay, here we go. All right. Have you got a project plan on screen?
We've got a high-level plan.
A high-level plan. All right, it's not an AR0, but it's a high-level plan.
Yeah. It's a data plan.
Okay.
Yeah, I recognise this.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Yeah. So
Chris, could
on
you
the slide
minimise Tim, please?
Sorry?
Could you minimise Tim, or even like just the Teams box in the bottom right-hand corner?
The one that's now you?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Okay. Good. All good?
Yeah, carry on. All good.
All right. Okay. So on the slide, we've got a plan of what we're doing here. All right. We're going to be bringing in the green box, the T24 data into the group platform. And as part of that, we'll be bringing in the red box at the bottom, third-party fund manager data. To make all of this work, and then it's going to then go into the box that will come to the amber one. So to make all of this work, we have to do all of these pieces, and we have to do them in the right order. If we skip part of it, like that third-party data piece, we're not going to get to the end product we intended. So this, am I on camera again? Right. I won't do too much more of this hopping around, don't worry. You got me again?
Yeah, we can see
there.
your Australia map.
Australia map, right? That there is one of the wooden maps that I mentioned earlier. So at the start, is one I made earlier. At the start, it would look like this, right? So to go from this to this, I have to go through a number of stages, which is equivalent to our stages at work. Okay, and to illustrate this, I've made this handy prop. Okay, so what I need to do is go through these 7 stages, all the way around, these 7 stages of going through different grits of sandpaper. If I skip this point here, the 400, say, if I skip that, I'm never, ever going to get to that nice polished finish, all right? So I have to do all of the pieces there. So there you go. It's important to have a plan and props. Thank you. The other thing I mentioned around preparation and resources was tools. Okay, so using the right tools is essential. Clearly, the analogy here is work tools versus applications, or so work tools and applications versus these actual tools. All right, so now we're going to get to the more fun part. I'm going to illustrate this concept with 2 things that the majority of us will have, which is hammers and saws.
Have a time.
Hammer time indeed. Thank you. So this is a pretty standard hammer. It's good for most jobs, but it's definitely not good for all jobs. Some of you may have seen the excellent speech, What Did Dan and Robbie Do All Day by Dan Hester, in which he said that people ask why, given there are loads of finance-specific tools out there, they come back to using Excel all the time. And the answer he gave, and I'm paraphrasing here, was that Excel does it all, it does it well, and you keep coming back to it. It's the ideal tool, all right? So something I find as well, so this, for example, is my Microsoft Excel with hammers. I find myself using this one more than any other, and it's normally the first one I reach for. But it's not perfect for everything. So for example, slow assistant. For example, if I was chiseling something fairly fine, that's too big. It's too big and heavy to use that all day. All right, so I won't be using that one. What I would use instead is that, which is a 225 gram Japanese chiseling hammer. That there is perfect for the job, right? But thank you. If I want to bang a peg into the ground on the marquee, say for example, that's no use to me at all. Hang on, can I move that box? No, it doesn't matter. That is no use to me at all for banging a peg into the ground. Right, so for that, I would use that, which is my Thor hammer. I imagine you can guess why that's called a Thor hammer. This is excellent. You can bang pretty much anything into anything else using this one. Fabulous, okay? But it's heavy, so I can't use it for everything. So I'm going to go back to my Excel of hammers, using my place here. Right, I'll go back to my Excel of hammers. Right, this is great. And what this is a framing nailer. It's actually for making the wooden frame of a house. Really good tool. But really, okay, so going back to the work thing here, the question would be around scalability. Is this the right tool for our project? If I'm going to be building a house, doing the whole frame of it, that is not going to do the trick, right? I need to look at scalability, automation, and go up a level, which is that there, Pasload 350 gas-fired nail gun. Okay, don't worry, all the safeties are on, don't worry. Okay, yeah, my assistant's ducking over there. Okay, that's good. That will do the job for everything. That's absolutely great for that level of stuff. And we built the work shed that you saw in the pictures earlier with that one. Carefully does it.
It's a whole new level of innovation and automation right there.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, in a good way, I hope. The next example is saws. Okay, so I'm sure you've pretty much all got one of these, your standard saw, and it's fine, it's good for plenty of jobs, but again, pretty quickly you're going to want something that's faster, is more accurate, and again more scalable. Okay, so what I'd normally reach for if I'm cutting across timbers, which I do a lot, is that, which is cordless circular saw. So I would use this when I'm cutting across 4x2s, for example, and very often use it in conjunction with this, which is a speed square. That's an incredibly useful tool. That you need one of these, you just don't know that you need one of these.
Maybe I should just do a quick conversion for people, or translation, Chris. 4x2s. That's 10 centimeters by 5 centimeters metric, right?
Absolutely, yeah, planed all round.
Just in case people aren't familiar with the terminology.
Excellent. I've got 2 assistants now. One here, one there. Brilliant. Thank you.
I'm more worried about the fact you're, flying these tools around your head.
The batteries are not in there. Don't worry. I've been, yeah.
Don't you cut your hand off on screen.
I checked 3 times that there were no batteries in the nail gun, because that would have been really bad. Anyway.
Oh, we lost him.
Seems to have frozen.
If I want to cut a curve,
he's back in the room.
Oh.
It's all right, mate.
You're back.
He's back in the room. All right, good. If I want to cut a curved cut, then that's no use to me at all. Right, that's straight cut. So if I want to do a curved cut, then we'll use the jigsaw. But again, this is all about the right tool for the job. So if I want to cut through a wooden post, for example, both of those are too fine for that job. So then I would go for a saber saw. Okay. That's the job for something heavier like that. It's a horrible thing to use, this is. But if I was going through a big tree branch, if I need something really heavy duty, then again, got to reach for the bigger toys. So that's I can take the guard off, but I'm sure you can all figure out that's a chainsaw. Okay. Hope you can still hear me. So yeah, okay. Then that's the biggest of the big toys is the chainsaw. And a top tip for you, don't ever look up what chainsaws were invented for. Thank you. Right. Okay, I've got a couple of smaller topics for you now, right? Safety. So at work, we put a lot of emphasis on safety, cyber security, virus protection, disaster recovery, things like CrowdStrike happen, okay? We have to be prepared. So I have equivalents here too. I've learned from painful experience, and it was that I need to wear safety glasses at all times. These ear defenders actually come in very useful as well. And my hard hat, and it is my hard hat. You can tell because it's got stickers all over it. This has definitely, you can tell from, you can't see obviously, but the scratches on this show that this has definitely been useful in production a number of times. Thank you. The last of my mini topics here is governance. So in the work shed and at work, we need to have rules around what we do. So I've got 2 examples for you. Number 1 is following an incident with some plywood, this drill, and I have to reverse this, and this finger, I'm no longer allowed to combine red wine and tools stroke DIY, okay? That's not allowed. Governance rule number 2, you might see, I don't know if you can see, but some of these screwdrivers have color on the top. So they're my best ones. And following another incident involving my assistant here and someone stirring a pot of paint with one of my best screwdrivers, Mrs. D there is no longer allowed to use the best screwdrivers. All right. Time's moving on. I am coming towards the end, I think. All right, so I appreciate this is an unusual topic today. I hope this is working. I hope you're seeing sort of the parallels between the 2 things I'm talking about. But I do want you to come away. I mean, these meetings, you should normally come away with a bit of a takeaway, right? So my takeaway for you today, and I hope you will be able to use this at some point, is masking tape. Masking tape is your friend, okay? This stuff is incredibly useful. If you're going to use it, first tip is get this good stuff, okay? Don't use this cheap stuff because it just tears. It's so frustrating. This is called frog tape. They sell this in B&Q. Here's prop number 2. If you're marking something up, say you're about to drill through something, a piece of wood, but you don't want pencil marks all over it, put some masking tape on, make your marks there. You can drill through. When you're done, tear that off, and you haven't marked your piece. I had another one here. If you're taking something apart and you've got a bunch of parts there, pieces for later on, mark them up there, okay? Don't try and remember what they are. You won't. Mark them up with your masking tape. Job's a good one, as they say. If you are cutting edges, so we talked about saws earlier, if you're cutting an edge, put some tape down it, and then you actually mark down there, but that will stop the edges splintering. That's really useful. I use that one all the time. Next, oh, okay. Those annoying, here, prop number 3. When you are hanging a picture and they've got those really annoying holes on the back and they're really hard to transfer to the wall, and you get your tape measure and then you sort of try and put that up on there. You don't do that. What you do, I know you can't see this at the moment, but if you go through there, put tape on, you punch holes through the tape, you should mark it up, take the tape off, you put that on the wall, and that's where you've got to drill your holes. That one I found really super useful. I think that's the end of the props, I do believe. Yeah, I think that should be it. So I've got one more topic today, which is, it's not strictly speaking kind of a project thing, but it is wellness, something that comes up at work a lot. So thanks, JS. Yeah, doing this is good for me. Okay, my kids have said before, like, why are you out here at the weekend working on stuff when you should be relaxing? But I am relaxing. I enjoy this. During COVID, when we were all stuck at home, I used to come out here for half an hour before work, and I'd work on a project or do some tool restoration. You know, just get out the house, come do something before I start the day. And I found it really, really valuable. I mentioned earlier, where is my XL hammer? There. I mentioned earlier about tools being shiny. Now, it's not essential, but for me, it's by design. Tools work better if they're looked after. At work, you know, we're using tools, we keep them upgraded, we keep them up to date, we look after the toolkits there. So it's the same here. Sharp tools work better, that's a fact. Shiny tools, it's not a necessity, but it's good for me. I like to do that. It's good for my soul, and the results are nice too. So I've got a couple of examples. This 25 kilo anvil, it's not really 25 kilos, but this anvil here, that was just a rusty block in the garden from the previous owner, and that's really useful now. I use that one a lot. This is my Microsoft Excel of axes. This one I use a lot. Again, this was just a rusty mess, so that's, yeah, love that. That was a nice project to work on. And as was these bolt cutters were, try and get the camera, these bolt cutters, these were just like rusty, seized up, unusable in my dad's garage. So a bit of time to polish these up. I'll do a follow-up another day on how you look after tools. Probably not so much interest in that one. These are, you know, I can now use these again. It's great. So coming out here for half an hour before work really sort of set me up for the day. And I think it's important. You kind of do something that you enjoy for half an hour a day if you can. And I'm not saying you don't all enjoy your job. I'm sure we all enjoy our jobs lots. But if you can, do something for you. So ride your bike, bake a cake, or polish a hammer. That's it. 27 minutes. That's me done. One last thing. We'll go back to, I'm not going to muck around with all the screen sharing anymore, but we'll go back to, did anyone have any guesses on what that thing was that I made earlier? If not, we can
breakfast available here if anybody's brave enough to.
As a free breakfast available here, okay. Or someone can kind of guess it. We can't guess it now because I'm about to tell you, but it was for a piano teacher. So the piano teacher, she said that her younger students, like the real little ones, they can't always reach the floor to use the pedals, or sometimes, yeah, their little legs don't quite get there. So that platform allows her to adjust the height, and then they can put their heels on that and they can use the pedals. Or some of the really young ones don't use the pedals at all, so you put the platform on the top there. So it took a while to work out what it was, but she loves it, and she said she's got people asking for more. So that's it. Sounds like Barnsley. I'll take you for breakfast at Bruno's. How about that? I think that's it. I think that's me. All right. Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was brilliant, Chris. Thank you. And I can just say, I mean, I've seen Chris's maps, and maybe Chris, if you want to bring a couple of smaller ones into the office, show people they are things of beauty. I can assure you of that. That was brilliant. I loved all the parallels you made there, and I think the message at the end is really key. It is important, particularly outside of work, getting that right balance. And I've always said people with interests are interested, and I think you've just proved that. And I think, Emo, we may do the occasional similar type of session where people get the opportunity to present on some of their interests outside of the office. But I think you've set a very high bar there, Mr. Daffin.
Boom, that was the plan. Roger, over to you.
And if you could thank Debbie McGee for her magnificent
I'm just about
work.
to call her in. Come here, my assistant, please. Here's my assistant. Don't bang her in the head with the head.
Thank you very much.
Does anyone actually have any questions or anything for Chris? No, I will tell you, mate, it seemed to go slightly viral during the course of that. The first 20 minutes or so of that, all of a sudden we could all see pictures of a carpenter spreading around the office. So I think
fall in his garage.
I think you've done a great job.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Chris. And thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, Chris. That was fantastic.
Cheers, Chris.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.